All right. Here we go again.
You are listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
Okay, here we go. So most likely, that's pretty funny. I have to go back to Amazon. I think let me see what he's doing. I don't have to, but that's why I tell him to put it in a box all the time. And or maybe it's a different person. It might be a learning moment. Well, actually, no. Mine are coming at night. That's what it is. But that's why I tell them to put it in a box. Because if you're not at home, you could live in the safest neighborhood in the world, and some of those crooks are real intelligent. And I'm not going to divulge a lot of it or any of it, but they can get you. Some are like what they call that, transients. But because they're thieves, they generally have some income. Yeah, if you don't put it in a box, they absolutely know what it is, and it might draw them to if it's a high dollar item, something over $100, that would draw them to your order. Something they can see from the road. So Elihana's Twitter was, can't they again? Spies will create things like cancel culture, and it's the Democrats just to pollute the argument and the narrative. Well, that's why they owned it. That's why they earn. That's how they earn their gold bars and unmarked cash. Well, it's not making sense again. Because tell me I reached my limit for the day. I have to go to a different browser. It's in the Chrome browser that it doesn't. So I have to go over some other browser, and then it won't happen. Yeah, it could be Chrome people, Google. I don't know. I'll have to do that part of the investigation. So it's most likely they targeted her. It didn't make sense to me at all because even on Facebook, you couldn't share her YouTube. It's just that it's an innocuous song. It wasn't one of the sometimes she has pro-Israel songs. It wasn't. It was actually judgmental of Israel. It was the Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. So she was a little critical in there. I don't think anybody else has done that song better ever. Yeah, but she's like a prophetess, right? An adorable woman. I guess you have to be somewhat spiritual to see it. She's like a spiritual geek. She's a good-looking spiritual geek. The funny part, she was in Brazil, and she reminds me a little of Charo, but again, in a good way. She carries something from that deployment, A lot around her, so they want me to hate her. They actually want me to be like what would I call that? I guess a stalker killer. They're trying to push those buttons. I don't know if she has any. Definitely created by spies. Again, you don't have to have a spy position to be a spy. You simply have to use spycraft. But again, there's a lot of, I believe, spy work being done. So Iran may be actually, and again, I'm not telling you Zoran has anything to do with Iran, but Iran may have backed Zoran. They may be the ones putting all those candidates in, and they're getting froggy from it. But again, traditionally, when you go to the level of socialism, it's a tricky move. Again, New York, I mean, I understand socialism, but it's never going to work based upon historical corruption. But social safety net does, but we need a bipartisan world for it to work the best. Give and take. But again, the United States was psyoped into polarization. Well, that's how corrupt people make their money and how they hide. So, well, the point is that socialism in New York, what they need is a Democratic Party president. It's kind of like a quantum leap. If they don't get a Democratic Party president next time around, a lot of stuff will fail in New York. If they get a Democratic Party president, he's just going to, grab the money and send it to New York and tell you it's all socialism works. while he steals it from the capitalist communities. Now, capitalists, I've said, need to be a little more forthcoming, and Mr. Bezos did too. So, it's kind of a correction. The problem is everybody's doing something wrong. So the corrections are weird because it goes one way, then it goes the other way. Once in power, whoever's in power goes corrupt and does corrupt things or goes over the line. And you won't necessarily, all of it isn't corrupt, but some of it's corrupt considered in the scripture. It's not to say unlawful, but it's not good government. But what's going to happen is New York will be downgraded. If socialism keeps moving, again, they're taking over real estate that's going to downgrade if the capitalists keep moving out. Again, northern Pennsylvania, I'd invest. If you're a home builder, make sure you get some land up there. try to get some infrastructure in. Well, because it's really just their summer home, right? Mostly. I mean, there's other reasons, family and other things. Is that the 81 corridor or whatever? As long as we don't have those high taxation. I know we have some taxation here. Well, what it is it's like a tax shelter. Again, they're justified to a certain degree. Well, because Florida gets the money because of the low taxes, but it isn't all that much. Okay, so what happened in Illinois is you could find gorgeous homes at a great price, but the property tax was another house payment. Just about. I mean, not quite, but it was a smaller house payment. So everybody started moving out. So again, of course, they're beholden to certain people they shouldn't be beholden to, because nobody with any real money wants to invest in what they're doing, because it's insanity, self-destruction. So again, if it keeps moving and the conservatives keep moving out, again, conservatives, like the big headlines, I guess they're just doing it for politics or whatever. But oh my god, he took over New York. I mean, what do you think was going to happen? You boosted Florida and you boosted Texas, and again, I think South Carolina and North Carolina are seeing a lot, maybe even a little Georgia. They're more spread out than like the snowboard Florida thing. Well, it gets so hot. We used to live in Florida and Naples year round. It gets so hot in the summer that people don't want to be there. I was handling it fine. I was pretty darn fit until they killed me there. It's not investigational. It's a necessity. A real necessity. Like, murder this guy if you can. Why would you do that? Because you're a murderer. You're a contract killer for narcos, sex traffickers, and other corrupt people in government and outside of government. That's simple. So again, if there is no Democratic Party president, there's going to be a shortage of funds to fund anything up there, most likely. Well, because you can't move your corporation in one day. So, we've got a couple years left, like 2.5 years or something. That's about when it'll start being noticed. But if they put a Democratic Party president in, he's just going to throw money at New York. Or she, whoever it is. The Democrats were looking really good a little while ago, and it had nothing to do really with that anymore. Just a lot of different stuff. It's just, again, the machine's starting to move for the election, and people are remembering why they voted for Republicans, even though they didn't like Trump, or why they voted for Trump, even though they didn't like him. He has to, if he's careful what he says, if they're careful what they say, like Trump took a lot of extremist vote in at a certain period of time, and then at a certain point became, Mr. And he's doing what he said to a certain degree if it worked. Well, he told them that he would end the wars. But again, you can't do it overnight. You have to stop Iran because it's going to just keep warring. I mean, Obama gave them the money, and within, I think, 6 months, were launching rockets with death to America and death to Israel on it. Well, there's definitely not going to be enough money to fund all that if people start moving. So what happens is, most likely, they're looking for a cooler place. Like if you go up to Massachusetts, you're going to get hit with. I don't know what the taxation up there is. It's usually pretty high. That's another place people go for the summertime. And who knows? They might see actually they already have a boost like in Montana and North Dakota and all that. But if you wanted to stay northeast, northern Pennsylvania, kind of north central, I think is still available. I have to look. I haven't looked in a long time, but I think the prices are still well. And again, if you go to the Berkshires or someplace like that, it doesn't have infrastructure either. I mean, Butler County isn't bad if you wanted like a summer. I think it's a little cooler if you go up north in Pennsylvania, a few degrees, but it's not bad here. If you lean left a little, you can go to Cranberry. I'm not taking side roads. I don't believe the. I mean, people that are driving in a little vehicle, are on there too. Little econo vehicles. So they say it's faster to go the shortcut roads, but they're so curvy. And like you're on your brake, you're on your gas. I mean, it beats up your vehicle. To me, it's more arduous, I guess, but it seems like it's longer to me, but I don't know. Because they'll tell you to take the shortcuts. Maybe I have to check. It might be like looking at how your gas mileage or something. I don't know. May not actually be the fastest. I got to look at what I got going on there. I don't think it's gas mileage would work out because you have to stop and go. Slow down, speed up. So I'm stuck behind a lumber truck here. It's lumbering. I didn't bring a yarmulke because I got my hand on. It's so weird now because Eliana wears those like baseball caps. So now every time I see my baseball caps, I got my aerosol one, my Pennsylvania flag one. It makes me think of her. I don't know if she's trying to send me a message or what. And again, she doesn't have to read everything I post to realize something. Again, we're bigger than we. Because I got to say this because the deep state will go off on some BS tangent. We're bigger than our physical awareness. So we connect back and forth. And I know I'm connected to her. And I know I'm actually at this point getting some ups from her. So she's coming back up a little bit. Yeah, everything's metaphysical. Everything. But again, we do have physical. It affects the physical. That's why you don't allow stalkers, because they stalk the person and curse them. There's an MG vehicle. It's for government. Well, what happens is if you make your primary residence Florida, it's much better than your primary residence being New York because of the tax policies. So a lot of people do that. So what they're trying to do is get a little bit of extra money from the other thing. At least I think. The other types of taxes. I mean, they don't have to leave. I'm not saying anybody has to leave, but obviously people are leaving. If they started like a building boom in northern Pennsylvania, probably work as far as price wise. There's a building boom over here. Cranberry has some amazing homes. Because it could be the LDS people. Because any place they have a temple, they want to live near it. That's in the investigative dossier. Got my gas down low again. The skies here are always phenomenal. I mean, not every day, but like right now, it's amazing. Just touch the sky. Excuse me while I touch the sky. Jimi Hendrix there. I would have loved to have been here in 2000. I'd have had a house with a view. It's like in this area, if you don't like the view, drive another mile. It's another view, or even less than that sometimes. They got some, housing developments on top of hilltops or just off, just below the ridge line. You see forever from up there. I wish I had the setting I had in Kansas, as far as right next to a bunch of trees and a wooded area, with this weather here. Kind of open where I am, and I really don't have too many options. I'd be kind of crazy to move unless something came up, like a windfall or something. The Bible Belt's not really the Bible Belt; it's the money belt. I mean, there's some people there that might be considered such a thing, but overwhelmingly, it's the money belt. So I do believe there was a spycraft takeover brewing, a jihadist takeover. And see, corrupt people like jihad and like Sharia law. Well, because they know, like in Iran, it doesn't apply to everyone. It only applies to people that don't have money or power. So again, that's right up corrupt people's alley. So they don't care that they could care less if Islam takes over, because they're not going to have to do anything. I mean, it would be way down the road before they would demand hijabs in America. I don't think they can get that far. It's going to reverse at this point. It's just the same thing as socialism. It's just a matter of time before they step on themselves, because you're just going to offend so many capitalists that it's just going to run. Again, moderation from both sides is required to make things work right. And as far as giving the money out, a lot of it we can't trace. These people, bought narcotics with it. I mean, that's who knows how much of the narcotics issue is from, they would call handouts. I don't consider it. Hopefully, Iran keeps moving forward. Well, if you think on one hand they're moving forward, on the other hand they're insulting everybody and everything with Beldar, but they were never truthful before the war anyway. I mean, lied to the people, lied about Sharia law. They actually seem like they're sadistically gay, a bunch of them. Even they're like law enforcement and they're prison people. So I don't. That's obviously way out of Sharia law, but I guess they look at it like they're raping the infidel or something. Yeah, it's spycraft, so you have to really dig deep to find everything. So that's how they were funding all the harassment of me and other people. But they were fraudsters. They wanted me dead. They didn't want to get investigated. They didn't want cops going straight and clean. So all that fraud money was, every place they had a group of fraudsters, they had no doubt, and it's a form of organized crime. It really is. But they had organized crime and racketeering, I'm sure, and cops that they were paying off. I mean, there's no way you couldn't see this kind of fraud. There's still a question as to why it took 4 years to actually bust. Was it London, Pittsburgh? Was it? I can't remember which one it was. 4 years. I'm like, what? I mean, people are actively buying narcotics with SNAP fund. If you wait 4 years, I mean, for at least 2 years of that is a waste. I mean, you have a bigger case, but I mean, the idea is to stop people from using SNAP for narcotics. Or maybe you're on the take and that's where some of your money comes from. Yeah. Like people that name vehicles don't understand the coding at like F type. I wouldn't buy a Jaguar. I would spend the money on a Jaguar. Have a big F on your vehicle. But maybe reveal something about the driver. I don't know. Might be an F type. Yeah, but I thought about purchasing one of those raffle tickets for the Torah. It would be great sitting in my house if I won the Torah. But yeah, it belongs in a I don't want to shortchange some community that could get. I'm a vegetarian anyway. There's a lot of dead animal skin in there. It's a nice one. It's like a swattic. Yep, if I bought it, the deep state would like attack them to make sure it wouldn't be me. I would torture them until he did the drawing. I always try to buy a smaller Sephardic one. It looks real nice. It was a good price before. It was like 5 something. Now it's like 8, maybe even 9. It's like 5 something. Right there's the gas station. How do I get over there? Here. Wow, they're busy. So you have to really realize Elihana's age to realize how advanced she is as far as spiritual studies. It's just when you're part of organized religion, which she's kind of part of, they steer you in certain directions and make certain priorities to match their priorities, and that doesn't always work, especially for Yeshua's work. Again, I think the scripture actually says what I just said. I just paraphrased and spoke from experience. I have no idea what that sign is talking about. Kind of busy with the Pepsi truck in here, filling up the Pepsi. I'm going to sign off for this session and be back